type is cultural site. We are not having many of the entertainment types of the world standard, like something like which I told you, Disneyland, or Universal Studio or Night Safari. Those things have not yet come in India. Little bit has come, SL World, you can say Kingdom of Dreams. Something has started, but it is at a very initial stage. So we will be discussing mainly the natural sites as well as the cultural sites. Okay. In the natural side, we have already discussed that there are wildlife sanctuaries, protected areas, tiger reserves, bird sanctuaries, especially the animal related sanctuaries, national parks, UN recognized national parks, and there are a total of 515 national parks devoted to animal sanctuaries. For example, Keoladio National Park, it is also called Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. Keoladio National Park. Gir National Park, which is based in Gujarat, and it has got the maximum number of big cats in India. Maximum number of big cats, and it is the only place where Asiatic lion is found. Gir National Park. The National Chambal Wildlife Sanctuary, it is devoted to crocodiles. So especially in crocodile also there are categories. It is specially devoted to Ghadial.
National Chambal.
National Chambal. Let me tell you, this Chambal river, is quite a long river. If you want to see this place, there is a place near Agra, about 45 kilometers from Agra. I just forgot the name of the village. You have to go to that village. That is one of the best places to see all these ghadials. And Chambal river is... I will not exactly know whether they are, probably they are maximum, because if you go to, for example, January, February time to this place near Agra, it's totally protected area. You can see it on the Google, the map is there, about 45 kilometers. You go there, you have a motorboat there. You go by motorboat, you will see that during January, February, wherever there is any land somewhere, anywhere, it will be full of ghadials, full. Because they are a cold-blooded animal.
Yes, sir.
So they need heat. So what happens during the daytime? They come to the sun, right? And it will be full, absolutely full.
So sir, this time जाएंगे तो मिलेगा.
कुछ दिखेगा. Now it is already, it is February. Yeah. January is the best, but even now if you go, you will find a lot of crocodiles, ghadials basically. In fact, I had gone sometime in April last year. I had gone April. I saw few of them, and I had some pictures also. It is in South India. And North Reef Life and Reef Island, North Reef. No, Reef is in the sea, on the seashore. Now, Kaziranga National Park is also very. Can you tell me the name of the animal which is famous in this Kaziranga National Park? Which is the animal? Which is the main animal? And where is it? Have you heard about Kaziranga? It's very well known. It is in Assam. And the main animal, can you now tell me what is the main animal in this national park? Which is the main attraction? That is rhinoceros, gander. Rhinoceros. Kaziranga is famous for rhinoceros. Okay. So there are 515. I have just chosen the famous ones. They are very famous. They have a cultural value. They have got a history. They have an antique value. But most of them are man-made. Obviously.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now there is a concept of UNESCO World Heritage. Now the sites which are listed in UNESCO World Heritage, they get a special status. Lot of foreign tourists come there. There is a lot of extra funds by government. Then there are funds given by UNESCO. What is UNESCO? UNESCO is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. So UNESCO World Heritage Site is a place, and it could be a forest, it could be a mountain, it could be a lake, it could be island, it could be deserts, it could be a monument, it can be a building, it can be some complex, or it can be a city, whole city. Okay, but if you see here, a site can be natural site also, it can be a cultural site also. Okay. Normally, you will not have like this, that Disneyland is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, or you will say that Universal Studios is a heritage site, because they are all entertainment zones, entertainment sites. So they are not covered by UNESCO. So UNESCO covers either the natural sites or the cultural sites. Okay. Under certain conditions, listed sites can obtain funds from World Heritage Fund. They maintain a World Heritage Fund also. So there, see, what is the aim of UNESCO? The aim of UNESCO is to preserve most interesting sites. Now, so they have a ranking system, depending on their history, depending on their beauty, depending on the number of tourists coming to that place, depending on the age, very old. See, heritage value, basically. It should have a heritage value. Okay. As of 2014, a total of 1007 sites are listed under UNESCO World Heritage Site. 779 of them are cultural sites. 197 of them are natural sites. And 31 are mixed properties. 31 are mixed properties. In 161, it states parties. By sites ranked by the country, Italy is home to the greatest number of World Heritage Sites. And what is the number? 50. So Italy has got 50 World Heritage Sites. That's quite a good number. Followed by China, which is number 2. It has got 47 World Heritage Sites. Then Spain, 44. France, 39. Germany, 39. Mexico, 32. And India also has a position, and it has got 32 sites as of 2014. Okay, so these are the numbers, statistics under UNESCO listed. Now, this I have already mentioned, that the UNESCO World Heritage Sites can be of two types. One could be natural sites, and second could be cultural sites. India has got 7 natural sites and 25 cultural sites. And the first two which were granted the UNESCO World Heritage status were Agra Fort and Ajanta Caves. And the latest site which have been included in UNESCO list is Great Himalayan National Park, which is a natural site. 51 more sites are under consideration for the status. India has. If you start from the top, the first important site is Mountain Railways between Kalka and Shimla. This is a World Heritage. Then the latest one which has come, it is in Lahaul Spiti in Himachal Pradesh, Great Himalayan National Park. Then further down the line, in Himalayas only, in Uttarakhand, there is Nanda Devi and Valley of Flower. Nanda Devi and Valley of Flower. Okay, it is also a World Heritage Site. Then coming to Delhi part, near Delhi, you have Qutub Minar, which is a World Heritage Site. Then you have Red Fort, which is a World Heritage Site. Then there is Mayus Tomb. So there are 3 World Heritage Sites in Delhi: Red Fort, Qutub Minar, and Mayus Tomb. Then further you go, you reach Agra. In Agra, there is Agra Fort, and then there is Fatehpur Sikri. These are 2, and then Taj Mahal. So Agra also has 3 World Heritage Sites. Then near Agra, you have in Rajasthan, very near to Agra, you have got Bharatpur. In Bharatpur, you have Keoladio National Park. It is also called Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, which is also a World Heritage Site. Then you go to Jaipur. In Jaipur there is only one World Heritage Site, and that is Jantar Mantar. Then you go further western part of India, near the Indo-Pakistan border. You have Jaisalmer. In Jaisalmer there is hill forts of Rajasthan. There are not one fort, there are several forts. There is a cluster of forts. Okay, so this is also a World Heritage Site. Then you go down to Gujarat side. You have Rani Ki Vav. You have got Rani Ki Vav, which is in Gujarat. And further to the south of Gujarat, you have Champaner. Champaner, it is also called Pavagadh, which is also a World Heritage Site. Then you come to the central Indian side, central India, near Bhopal, about 45 kilometers from Bhopal. At one side you have Sanchi Stupa, which is a World Heritage Site, and on the other side of Bhopal you have Bhimbetka rock shelters, which is also a World Heritage Site. Then you go towards near Aurangabad. There is Khajuraho. Okay. So not Aurangabad. Actually, sorry, it's not near Aurangabad. It is in UP, MP and UP border. Khajuraho. Then you go to Bihar side. You have got Bodh Gaya, which is also a World Heritage Site. Then you go further east. You have got mountain railways in Darjeeling. This is also a World Heritage Site. Further east, you will find Manas Wildlife Sanctuary and Kaziranga National Park. Both are World Heritage Site. Okay. Then you come down to Maharashtra, near Aurangabad. Very near to Aurangabad, you have Ajanta Caves and Ellora Caves, which are both World Heritage Site. Then you further go to western part near Mumbai, Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus. It is also called Victoria Terminus. Okay, and it is still used as a railway station. So this is a World Heritage Site. Then you also have Elephanta Caves, which is an island, on an island near Mumbai. So there is a ferry going from Gateway of India in Mumbai to Elephanta Caves. Then you go further south on the western coast. You have got Sahyadri range of hills and Western Ghats. That portion is also a World Heritage Site. You go further south, you have Pattada, Kal, then Hampi, then churches and convents of Goa. They are World Heritage Site. You go further down, you have got Western Ghats in Karnataka and Western Ghats in Cochin. This combination of Western Ghats in Karnataka and Cochin, they are also World Heritage Sites. Then you have got, in Uti, you have got a train, hill train. That is also a World Heritage Site. Then you go to further southern part on the eastern coast near Chennai. You have got Mahabalipuram, which is also a World Heritage Site. And further down, you have got a cluster of Chola temples, which is also a World Heritage Site. Then Western Ghats on the south tip in Kerala is a World Heritage Site. So you can see all over India, we have got a very uniform distribution of different sites which are World Heritage Sites. That's quite remarkable. It's quite remarkable that India has got so many World Heritage Sites. Okay, that's very interesting. Chola temples also include Konark Temple, Sun Temple. That includes. Okay. Mahabalipuram is near Chennai. Okay. So these are the places which is really worth seeing. And as I told you that there are 51 more places which are under consideration for grant of the status of World Heritage Sites. So this is what I wanted to show you, the locations wise. Some of these sites, I'll give you a little bit of their background. I'll discuss with you some of the features of these places, which is very interesting actually. For example, let us start with Ajanta Caves. Let me tell you, in 1972, two sites were given, the first two sites which were given the status of World Heritage Site. One was Agra Fort and second was Ajanta Caves. For the simple reason, because of their antique nature of antique, the heritage in terms of their history, very long history, very old history. Why? It is near Aurangabad. It has got 30 rock-cut Buddhist caves monuments dating from 2nd century BC to about 480 or 650 CE. CE means AD, after death, after the death of Christ, or BC means before Christ. Okay. These monuments are masterpieces of Buddhist religious art with figures of Buddha and depiction of Jataka tales. Can you tell me what is Jataka tales? Have you ever known what is Jataka tales? Meaning? Jataka tales means those stories which are related to Mahatma Buddha or God, whichever God you are talking about, not related to their real life, not related. Like for example, real story we know, Mahatma Buddha, real story we know, that he was born in a king family, and he was one fine day he was out of his palace and he saw the sufferings, right? And he became a saint after seeing the sufferings of the people, right? So that story we know. But Jataka story is not related to the real life. They are the stories which are related to their earlier life and post life. His reincarnations or earlier life before the real life. These are called Jataka tales. Why? That's why Jataka means Jati. Jatak. Jatiya. Jati se related. Jati means ki the person is, we believe in Hinduism that people are born and dead and again born, right? So that is what we believe. We believe in after life after death. Okay? So these are those stories. And it is a UNESCO site since 1983. Okay? Ellora Caves indeed, were given the status later. So probably the 1983 date is associated with Ellora Caves, not Ajanta Caves. So I'll check on that. It is very near to Aurangabad, but on a different side. Now, the difference between Ajanta Caves and Ellora Caves is that Ajanta Caves are actually caves. What is a cave? Cave is a natural place which is naturally made in hills, in rocks. But in case of Ellora, these caves are man-made caves, excavated. So they somehow excavated the front face of a big hill, right? So 34 excavated and rock-cut structures on vertical face of a hill. There are, out of which 12 are Buddhist, 17 are Hindu, and 5 are Jains. Now that is very, very interesting. As you see in Ajanta Caves, all 30 caves are Buddhist caves. But in case of Ellora Caves, 12 are Buddhist, 17 are Hindu, and 5 are Jains. And the time period is 5th century to 10th century. What does it indicate? It indicates a very strong harmony between different religions. At the same place you have got temple of Buddhism, same place you have temple of Hindus, at the same place you have temples of Jains. So the tolerance was very high. and communal harmony was very good during that period. It is an indication of that. Built by Rashtrakuta dynasty during that time, and it is the example of communal harmony at that time. We take over. It is very, very interesting. Again, Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is a world famous monument and extremely popular. Actually, Taj Mahal is extremely popular. What is the meaning of Taj Mahal? If you translate into English, it is the crown of palaces. It is a white marble mausoleum located in Agra, Uttar Pradesh, and it was constructed in 1653 after a period of 22 years. It took 22 years to build Taj Mahal, and it was built by Emperor Shah Jahan for his third wife, Mumtaz Mahal. So, in memory of his third wife, Mumtaz Mahal, he created this monument. Just imagine, somebody is building a structure for 22 years. Isn't it strange? But whatever it was a miracle. I mean, it's a marvelous thing which he has created. And it is the best example of Mughal architecture. And it is a blend of Islamic, Persian, Ottoman and Indian architecture style. Okay? Ottoman means Turkish. Ottoman is Turkish. Moreover, it is an integrated complex of several structures, not one structure. If you look at Taj Mahal, there are mosque is there, then there are certain other buildings, the main building. Okay? So it is a combination of different structures, including minars. Minars are also, separate. If you look at the minars of Taj Mahal, they are separate from the main building. Okay. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1983. Okay. So Agra Fort, as I told you, Ajanta Caves and Agra Fort were the first given the status of UNESCO World Heritage Site. I am sure Ajanta as well as this were given the heritage site in 1972. So that was a mistake actually. In 1983, many monuments were given the status. The first two were Agra Fort. Now, somebody can question, why Agra Fort? Why not Taj Mahal? The monument which are given World Heritage status should have been Taj Mahal. Why it is Agra Fort? The answer for that is, Taj Mahal may be very beautiful, very good. But the criteria for World Heritage Site is not just beauty. It is also the history, the age, and so many history. It's much older. Taj Mahal was constructed in 17th century, 1653. But the mention of Agra Fort is there even in the 11th century. There is a mention. And earlier Agra Fort was famously known as Badal Mahal. Badal Mahal. So it was originally a brick fort held by Raja Badal Singh in 1475. And before him also, as I told you, there is a mention about this place. Some brick fort is mentioned at the same place in the 11th century. So you can imagine, so many kings, so many empires, so many regimes, their history is associated with Agra Fort. Even the incidents of 1857, when first mutiny took place by Indians against Britishers. Even so many events are associated with Agra Fort of that time also, 1857. So obviously, Agra Fort has got more heritage value, it has got better history, it has got so many stories along with it. So obviously the preference would be for Agra Fort, not for Taj Mahal. Only later on, when Taj Mahal became so famous and people started coming, foreigners started coming, then only Agra Fort, Taj Mahal was given the World Heritage status. Okay. It was captured and recaptured in brick form by several kings and empires till it was rebuilt by Akbar in 1573, taking 8 years to rebuild it. Akbar's grandson Shah Jahan again rebuilt it, and what we see today is basically the latest version of Shah Jahan. The fort was also the site of battle during the Indian Rebellion of 1847. One more thing I want to tell you. It is believed that the son of Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb, kept his father in captivity in the same fort, in a particular place in this fort, from where he could look at Taj Mahal easily. So it was visible. So if you go to Agra Fort, you will find a place there. They will show you that Shah Jahan was captive in this place, and you can actually see Taj Mahal from there. You know, on the banks of river Yamuna. Okay. Then let us discuss about Konark Sun Temple. Konark Sun Temple is located in Konark. There is a place called Konark, which is in Odisha. Okay. It is also known as Black Pagoda. Now, what is the meaning of this Black Pagoda? It's a local name. Why this name happened? Black Pagoda name, I'll tell you. Black. Actually, the color is dark. It's not black actually, if you'll see. But if you see from distance, it will look like black, right? So what has happened? This was obviously, it became very important spot because it was on the seashore. So when the ships were coming to that side, to identify the place, they were looking at this place as some black structure. So they called it Black Pagoda. And nearby there was another structure which was in Puri, Jagannath Temple. Puri Jagannath Temple. So it looked more like white building. So they called it as White Pagoda.